Hello everyone, Ethersong here, and today's video is about censorship by Visa and Mastercard. Now, for those who have been following this issue, this is nothing new. This has been happening for a while now, especially in Japan, but what has been hit today is Steam. So let's take a look at this. So Steam has added a new rule disallowing games that violate the rules and standards set forth by payment processors and card networks, or internet network providers. At the same time, many incest-themed games were removed from the store. And what they wrote on their Steam, I believe it's like TOS or whatever, they said that content may violate the rules and standards set forth by content that may violate the rules and standards set forth by Steam's payment processors and related card networks and banks or internet providers, in particular, certain kinds of adult-only content. So it seems like what's behind this censorship. So what happened is, because of this new rule, I think it was like over like 100 various like adult themed games were removed from Steam. And what was behind this, it seemed to be is Collective Shout is one of the many things behind this, a radical feminist organization that wants to end the objectification of women in video games. You also have others like Morality in Media doing similar BS, but Collective Shout are the ones openly doing this. And this group, this I guess feminist organization, wrote a open letter to Steam, or I guess the payment processors profiting from Steam, just about a week ago. And it seems like it had an effect. So now you have these feminist organizations putting pressure on payment platforms like Visa and Mastercard to censor whatever they want. Now, I hope you can see that why this is a big deal, because even if you're not into adult games or anything, that's understandable. But what is left for us to decide? So usually you have the governments deciding what are the rules, what's legal or what's not illegal. But Visa and MasterCard are going right above the governments and acting as like a government themselves, but without any representation, choosing what to be censored worldwide based on whatever they feel like. I believe Grums put this in a very concise manner. The big elephant in the room, the real lock on censorship comes from who controls payments. There are just a handful of companies, Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, etc., that are basically legislating via monopoly control. This has been used against 2A companies as well. While some content is certainly disagreeable, companies should not be dictating this to the rest of the world. This effectively makes them governments without process or representation. Yeah, so that's basically the same thing I was saying, but Visa and MasterCard have been acting as if they can decide what can be sold anywhere in the world without regards to laws in the various countries they're selling at. And some, I guess this is another post I saw, but some people are trying to blame Valve for this, but I do not believe Valve is the one to blame, because even if you were to switch to another storefront, basically any storefront you use is going to be using Visa and MasterCard as a payment system. That means even if you switch to another storefront that has, I don't know, maybe like different games available or different content available, if Visa and MasterCard decide that, oh, you can't sell that anymore because that's how we feel today, then you won't be able to buy it there anyways. So it's not really a Valve issue, but it's really this payment processor issue. And if you weren't aware, this is one of the psychos who pressured Visa and MasterCard into forcing Steam using the payment processing monopoly to ban over 1,000 fictional games. I guess it was 1,000. I think I might have said 100 before, but that's clearly a lot of games. And why is there always a miserable, mentally ill Karen behind these censorship campaigns? How sad and desperate for control these people are. And they're complaining about the new Grok AI. Does that mean that they're going to go after Grok's new AI companion next because they think it's childlike? And they think it's childlike and they think that it's not good, but why are they posting images of it then? They just want attention, it seems. But in any case, if we jump back to Japan, this has been a big problem in Japan for quite a while. If we look at all these different companies that actually got affected, so we have a big list here, and these all are different companies that had basically transactions suspended by things like Visa and MasterCard. And I guess inside of Japan, there is ongoing legislation to try to fix these kind of issues. But from what I read so far, Visa is kind of giving them the runabout, saying, well, we're not censoring it. But they make rules that saying if you have adult-like content, it could be subject to like problematic things or something like that. And I don't know. I don't know what exactly they're saying, but it's obvious that Visa and Mastercard are the problem. And this is, I think, a growing issue that has been coming a lot more apparent to a lot more people recently, that I think really needs to be taken care of, because Visa and MasterCard, with their monopoly on basically payment processing throughout the world, can now decide what can be censored. What happens if they decide, well, this book we don't like, so we think this book should be censored then, or this music we don't like, so we don't allow this music to be purchased anymore. I mean, it's not just games or various adult content. It can jump to, I guess, anything you could imagine, basically, because they have no rules beyond what they decide currently. And this is a very big issue that I hope gets, I guess, more and more attention and gets dealt with soon. But anyways, today is just a short video kind of talking about this problem that arose. And we definitely see a lot more people talking about it now that it hit Steam, one of the biggest gaming marketplaces in the world. But for Japan, this has been ongoing for a while, and I hope it gets taken care of. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. I hope I was able to shed some light on what's happening, and I hope to see you next time. Later.